could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. I am Nate, also known as Nate Lego on Instagram and Flickr.
Nice. What inspired you to build this MOC?
So I and the other builders, there's 6 other builders, we were inspired by a television show called 1864. It's a Danish television show about this conflict called the Second Schleswig War. We have a lot of the reading material and books over there that it was based on. And we were really inspired by a specific battle scene, which is the Battle of Dybbol from 1864. And we really wanted to show just all the massive waves of figures kind of attacking each other, all the different fortifications. And we thought it was a really good opportunity to test our different layering styles and landscape styles. And so, yeah, we also tried to have as many cool parts of the television show as possible. So we have some figures in there that are characters from the show.
Nice. What was your favorite part of to build this MOC?
So I'd say a lot of it came together at the actual convention. So working together with others while we were here, we had a bunch of other people help out with it. It wasn't just the 7 originally who were part of it. You know, we had 5 or 6 other people come back here, help build some of the plates, put some of the figures on. So yeah, probably just the collaborative effort that went into it.
Nice. What are some cool techniques that you used in this MOC?
Sure, so some cool techniques. We have this, which is like a wooden spike barrier kind of, and it's supposed to be there as a barricade to stop troops from moving across the field. So we have a few of them, and the technique is basically just the Lego wand piece in black. All of it's in black with like a, I don't even know what you call this. It has 4 clips on it and then a lightsaber piece. And so that we just put all over the MOC, some sort of barricade, you know. Some other techniques, we have this for the palisade right here, which I'm gonna try not to take all of it off, but we used a couple 1x2 plates that connect and just kind of move around to make it more of a close together wooden structure, I guess. And that's used to stop troops from getting into this redoubt, which that's another technique. We kind of had plates on their sides here. Another really cool technique that my friend Carson used was for the roof over there. He had a bunch of tiles kind of on top of each other. And overall, I think the roof came out great on that build, on that house in the back there. So yeah.
Nice. How did you manage to make the trenches?
So the trenches came together they were very fragile at first. There's a lot of 1x4 wood bricks. I don't know if you can see any of them in here, but basically Lego makes this piece that looks like wood, you know, wooden logs maybe. So we used a lot of those on the far trench. And the ones here, it's basically just a headlight brick on its side facing upwards and then some plates stacked on it. And then we would put them at an angle that we want and then put plates or wedges on top of that. So.
Nice. How did you manage to make all this beautiful landscape?
Yeah, so that's just a lot of parts. I had an order recently for about 500 1x2s. These ones right here. About 500 of those, and it barely got me to the finish line for these last 2 plates. So thousands of parts went into this, a lot of orders. So to make the landscape, it's just a lot of time-intensive layering work, a lot of effort, you know, went into that. So yeah, and everyone had a different style. Some people chose to have it more raised, and some people tried to have it more flowy, but I think overall it came together really well.
And how did you guys manage to do the buildings?
So the buildings were all Carson. I don't exactly know how we did all of them, but I know that there were a lot of difficult parts of them, especially the windmill that has been destroyed. That was a lot of work just to get that done, a lot of different walls that had to come together at the right spot, you know. And the roofs are really impressive. There's a lot of tiles involved. Some of the minifigure stands from the collectible minifigure series are up there. So yeah, again, just a lot of time and effort went into those.
Wow. And where did you get most of the figures?
Yeah, it's a big question that we get often. These torsos right here are the Civil War Union torso from the Lone Ranger series. And they don't really make those anywhere anymore, so you got to find them all over the world. I think I got 50 or so from the United Kingdom, and they were like £3 each. So they're really, really not cheap, really expensive. The headgear, the hats for the Prussians are on Bricklink, or on Pick-a-Brick for pretty cheap. The legs are on Pick-a-Brick for pretty cheap. Not all of them have backpacks, some of them have satchels and stuff. The rifles, the brown rifles, are very expensive, so we have as many of those as we could get. And then the other figures have rare rifles or brown muskets. And then for the Danish troops, They use the firefighter torso with 8 buttons on it and sand blue legs. The firefighter torsos are really rare. I don't know exactly where you can find them. We have a cape from Capes for Minifigs from the United Kingdom, and then a brown rifle or brown musket, and then a black kepi on top. So,
Nice.
yeah.
How did you manage to make the explosions?
Yeah, the explosions were just a bunch of fire pieces that we had lying around, and that was basically all built at the convention. We have some lights in there that we couldn't turn on because they're in the middle, so it's kind of hard to get there. But yeah, the explosions were a lot of fire pieces put together, and then for the more previous explosions, we just have smoke coming out. These ones are supposed to make it seem like they just happened. You know, there was just a cannon that fired there, and that cannon's firing, so maybe it'll land somewhere where those new troops are running up. But we wanted to leave it to the viewer's imagination somewhat, but definitely wanted to have smoke, fire, and lighting too. The lights were pretty cool last night at World of Lights. So.
Is this mock going to be in any other conventions?
Probably not. I think this is the only convention I go to personally. I know some other builders go to other ones, but because we can't all go to a different convention, I think this will probably only be shown here. And I also plan to start disassembling my sections as soon as I get back home to prepare for next year. So.
How are you going to destroy your sections? Are you just going to smash them, or are you just going to take the parts carefully? How are you going to do that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I usually don't destroy stuff because I don't like to do that, especially with all these brown parts here. If you throw them on the ground, they're going to break in half. So, and those are pretty expensive in some parts, especially the dark brown. I'd say I'm going to take them apart piece by piece when I need them. I don't usually sort that heavily, but I definitely will have to take some of the parts off for future builds. So.
Thank you very much for your time.
Of course, thank you.